My name's Zio, and as you know, I don't like making videos like this, but since a lot of people in this community use this software, I feel like I have to. So if you played PSO2 and or Final Fantasy XIV and you're a huge shutterbug for these games, then no doubt you'll know what GShade is. If you don't know what that is, it's an add-on that lets you modify the visuals in your game, such as lighting and depth of field. It's a really powerful tool, and people have made some stunning screenshots with it. Quite a few people in the community, myself included, have made use of this. A bit of a history lesson here. GShade got started around 2018 and was made by an FF14 community calling themselves G-Posers. That name is a reference to a command in Final Fantasy XIV called G-Pose, which is essentially the game's photo mode. They put out these high-quality digital magazines every month that showcase a lot of different screenshots and what's happening in the community at the time. GShade was made by these G-Posers folks and touted as a smoother, better optimized offshoot of another program called Reshade. It's actually a fantastic tool, but there are some issues here. So what's the problem here exactly? Well, whenever a new version of GShade comes out, it disables your access to it. So you'd have to close your game out, launch the GShade application, then update through there. Eventually someone got so fed up with this that they made their own version of Reshade that pulls presets from GShade. Now this didn't sit well with the developer of GShade. So what's their response? They add in an anti-tamper feature that restarts your computer if it finds third-party versions of GShade assets. Random restarts can be frustrating, especially if you're working on something that maybe doesn't have autosave. So the GShade developer admits to putting in malware with the reasoning of teaching this other guy a lesson. Now they've since apologized and removed that feature, but the damage is done here. I mean, yeah, this won't impact the average shutterbug end user, but that's not really the point. The fact that they openly admit they can do this, and even worse, has caused irreparable damage to the trust of their community. Now, there's another crazy wrinkle to this story. As of about 5 AM Pacific on February 7th, GitHub took down GShade in response to multiple reports of malware. So this means GShade is broken for those who haven't updated it yet. This is really unfortunate too, as it's such a fantastic tool. It just goes to show how years of trust and goodwill can be obliterated with a single action. The GShade folks have really shown their hand here, and I don't think there's any bouncing back from this. This also serves to illustrate the kind of risk that you take putting anything on your computer, even if it's first-party software. There are people who like these extra features and understand they're assuming a certain degree of risk in using them, and there are those who would just as soon stay away from that stuff. A lot of people are switching over to Reshade now. I'll have links to how to get that set up in the description. I'll also have a link to where you can get help on installing GShade if you have it. This could be a huge boon for the Reshade folks. I could see their Patreon just blowing up. I can see countless other derivatives of Reshade popping up, as well they should since it's open source. This is just such a crazy story, and I don't see a happy ending here for GShade. Pride really does come before a downfall. Big yikes here. So I just wanted to share my thoughts on this, as well as offer some alternatives for those who use this stuff. So after uninstalling GShade, I was getting DLL errors. I had to replace the offending files, and things are fine now. So what do you guys think? Are you using Reshade now? Has this soured you from these kinds of tools altogether? You know how much I love chopping it up with you guys in the comment section and on the streams. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, to thine own self be true. Until next time, farewell.